Every time we use the word legacy, we're looking in two different directions. First, we're looking to the past. A legacy is an inheritance, a heritage, a story passed down through the generations. Summit, we not only have that legacy, we are that legacy, a living, breathing testament to God's work through the centuries. What God began with a small group of followers huddled together in Jerusalem, He has multiplied throughout that city, then that region, then the world. All the way to us, 2,000 years and 6,000 miles removed. We are a living gospel legacy. We are the next chapter in that gospel story. And we see signs of that legacy all around us. Every year, we are baptizing hundreds of new believers. We are sending out dozens of our members to plant churches. And we are watching as God reaches into the darkest parts of our cities, bringing the light of the gospel. But legacy doesn't just glance backwards to the past, and it certainly doesn't stay stuck in the present. No, the legacy we've inherited lifts our eyes to look forward to the future. Our chapter in the gospel story isn't the last one, and it certainly isn't the most important one. We've been given a part in this story for a reason, to keep following God as He writes its beautiful conclusion. Summit, we've been given a gracious and generous legacy. Now it's our turn to reach the nations who don't yet worship Jesus. Our turn to bring God's love to the parts of our city where that love isn't known or isn't felt. Our turn to pass the legacy on to others. In the months and years to come, we've identified 5 ways we want to see this legacy multiplied in RDU and around the world. We're calling these our 5 legacy lanes. Each lane represents an area we believe God has called us to make a gospel impact. They are international missions, domestic church planting, local outreach, growth and expansion, and leadership multiplication. We have big, even God-sized dreams in each of these lanes. For international missions, we want to translate the Bible into native languages for the very first time in the regions where we have strategic overseas missionaries. With domestic church planting, we want to multiply our capacity to plant churches, not only by starting new churches, but by creating 5 new collaborative training centers across the country. When it comes to local outreach, we believe God is leading us to create a family center which would enable our campuses to serve and work with community partners to create new resources that don't currently exist in our city, such as affordable daycare. For growth and expansion, there are 2 specific projects the Lord has placed on our hearts. Get the Chapel Hill campus built, and then purchase a camp and retreat center for our Summit kids, students, college, men's and women's discipleship conferences, and so much more. Lastly, for leadership multiplication, we want to build a training complex to house and train the hundreds of apprentices and interns for future leadership roles in Summit, in our church plants, and in ministry positions around the world. We believe God is capable of doing all of that. In fact, we know He can do even more. He's already done more than we thought to ask. And He promises to do more than we can imagine. Because in the end, this is all about His legacy, the story He's writing through us.